refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we live in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me, keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we got to tell.
I've been doing this.
I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm ready to win. Yeah. Refuse.
I see you on the back.
What up? How y'all doing? What's up, y'all? Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. This is the Dummy Bros edition. As you see, it's me and my dummy bro Tomo. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know, I don't work for the Bucks, so I'm straight.
Same. I ain't got to worry about working half the year and then I'm gone. So,
man, like a teacher schedule.
If you guys, paid attention to the intro, there was a little excerpt that I had said about Kyle Lowry, not being out of here. Guess what? He out of here now. He out of here now. We can celebrate. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Now, I'll talk more about it when we get to that topic. But today is Tuesday. It's a great day to be here. It's the 23rd of January, man. As you can see, I got NFC West champions in the background. Still, in the NFC Championship game hosting right now. But we're not here to talk about San Francisco. We're here to talk about. We got to talk about the Bucks. They let go Griffin after 43 games. Scary Terry is now in Miami thanks to the trade with Kyle Lowry involved. Should Mike Evans go back to Tampa Bay? I think that's something that we all might want to talk about. And is Josh Allen overrated? We don't know. But we will definitely talk about this. So before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We are now live on 3 platforms right now. We are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on X. If you're on Facebook, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Same thing for YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and become a member. You will see the commercial when that comes up after the first 2 segments. And then on X, you can repost it, and you can comment because we can see the Twitter, we can see the comments on X now. So make sure that you do all of that. And last but not least, enjoy yourself with today's show. Like I said, it's Tuesday, so we gotta turn up.
Turn me up.
Tomo, floor is yours.
Man, Dave, sometimes I'm gonna peel back the curtain for the folks that are watching, the early people that are here. When we're doing our pre-show and we coming up with the topics, we're like, man, we got this, we could talk about that. And it's always like, okay, we want to set it at a certain criteria. And maybe if we always throw in 4 or 5 questions here from each person, and we're all like, man, what can we talk about? And then boom, as soon as we say, what if Davey Schefter, I wish I had the dog sound because I can't do the ESPN sound. Davey Schefter would drop something and be like, hey, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We got, first it was Kyle. And then 5 minutes later, the NBA said, hey, I know the NFL happening, but we got some more news for you too. If you ever want to get fired on your day off, but technically not your day off, or should we call him Tommy from Martin? Because now we really don't know what he do. There's a lot of coaching vacancies out there, man. It's coaching season.
Mm-hmm.
And if you a Buck, I can say, for Peter purposes, we're not gonna name what they really call it, but it's coaching season. And we find out that today the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin after just 43 games, despite having one of the league's top records midway through the season. I mean, we were talking backstage that the Bucks are second seed in the East now. Dave, how you feeling about this, man? Like,
I feel like they're in panic mode. They're in panic mode. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. How you doing, mama? I feel like they're in panic mode. If I remember correctly, they're 30-13 right now, which is second in the East.
Yeah.
And you fire him after his first season as the head coach. Like, what went into the thought process? Like, I don't get why you fire someone when you're successful. I mean, I get it. Your defense is terrible. Your defense is not where it needs to be. But you knew that was going to happen when you traded for Dame Lillard and gave away one of your best defenders and Drew Holiday. Did you really expect Dame to be able to replace Drew? When has Dame ever been known as a great defender? Never.
I mean, no.
Now, he could defend himself on his raps. That's probably the best defense he got. But
not on that remix of Meek Mill and them, but
hey, there you go. He ain't got to worry about a Drake back-to-back disc. He ain't got to worry about that. But he got to worry about being back-to-back, getting blown off the floor because they're not playing no defense. But they 30-13 right now. They're second in the East. I don't understand what was the big issue. And the crazy thing is, when I first posted it, people were thinking that maybe this was Giannis. This was a team thing. The players didn't want him. The team completely. Now, this is an article that I read. I believe I sent it to you. The Bucks had completely tuned out Adrian Griffin. Did not have confidence in him as a head coach to make the right adjustments. And the Bucks simply lost faith in Adrian Griffin that they didn't think he would be the best coach. They did not want to waste a season of Damian Lillard's prime, Giannis's prime. They want to go and compete. And they are going to go and hire a coach that they feel will allow them to win a championship and compete for a championship and put them in the best position. But Bucks high-level officials have been discussing, pondering, internally meeting, getting off and firing Adrian Griffin and when that would come. So this has been going on for a while. And they're thinking that this is something that, needs to happen. Crazy thing is they already got 3 head coaching candidates already. He just got fired today, and they already got people that they think they're going to hire already. Doc Rivers, Jeff Van Gundy, and Nate McMullen.
Man. And before the ESPN layoffs, I know Jeff was probably like, I'm good where I'm at. But Jeff probably like, hey, man, I get back out there and coach some teams. What y'all want me to do?
And then yeah, crazy. The man that talks like he's been smoking cigarettes his entire life.
Yeah, it's not all on us. We got Giannis.
So league sources say now that the desire to play for Griffin was better described as a determination to play for someone other than Nick Nurse. Remember, in the offseason, Nick Nurse was a candidate to be the head coach for the Bucks. Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse as the head coach. So they decided to go for someone else other than Nick Nurse.
He's a winner, though.
They said sources say Antetokounmpo wanted the Bucks to go in a different direction and thus chose to go with Griffin instead of Nick Nurse. So my thing is, you asked for Griffin. You asked for him. You go trade one of your best defenders for Damian Lillard. And now you're mad that your defense is bad, but you're second in the East. If I remember correctly, if you're second in the East, that's competing for a championship.
Exactly.
We're not even in the playoffs yet. We haven't even gotten to the All-Star break. The trade deadline hasn't even passed. And you fire your head coach right now? Hey, all I'm going to say is if you don't win the championship this year or next year, the Milwaukee Bucks organization will be in the doghouse. I guarantee you that.
In the doghouse, Giannis and wait. So don't want Nick Nurse. You asked for Adrian Griffin, again, who spent like 16 seasons in the NBA. Past 5, he was an assistant with the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Nerd at some point. Uh, your defense falls off, but you're still second in the East. Defense is more so schemes, but also the willness of the player has to want to play defense. So you get rid of the coach. Of course, you dropped in some rankings, but the player has to want to play defense. And you can't tell me that what's my man name? I mean, he was their best player, and they traded him to the Celtics. Dave, help me out. What's his name? I can't remember right now.
Say that last part one more time.
The Bucks' best player who got traded to the Celtics.
Drew Holiday.
There we go. So Drew Holiday, right? You can't tell me one player leaving stopped y'all from playing defense.
Wow.
Or maybe it's the fact that they seen a player who was actually playing defense that was a starter that made them want to go do it. And now Dame is here, and he's like, well, I'm all about scoring. I thought you guys were the defensive anchors. Like Giannis, you were the paint protector. But I guess, again, when a team builds a wall, you don't know how to get in the paint anymore. But that's on the coach. Again, second in the East. Do you know where the Wizards are right now? Do you know where the Pistons are right now? And the Pistons have a seemingly good coach in Monty Williams. I mean, the jury is still out on that. But at the end of the day, Monty is still there. Granted, there's times where the Pistons can give up a lot of points, but they can also score a lot of points. So again, the defense is on the players. And to be second in the East with the Pacers, the Magic, the Celtics, Cleveland, the Knicks, all of these teams are right there with you. I don't see it, man. I think it was like you said. I really agree with you that they are in panic mode. You usually wait till after the All-Star break to see how the team does to make a move like this. Mm-hmm. Or like you said, with the trade deadline, maybe you bring in someone else and that brings up the morale. I feel like this is more so an inside job. They feel like these players talking about waste their prime. Dang, you was in Portland for 6 years that you should have been left. Talking about wasting your prime.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I know this wasn't Dame. And Bucks, you got Giannis' whole family on the bench. You wasting other players' prime by signing players that's not really gonna get in the game.
Facts.
Yeah, nah, this was just. I think he's taking a fall for somebody else. I feel sorry for the guy. Hopefully he can bounce back. But yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with. I don't get what I don't understand the thought process of this. You say you want to compete for a championship.
Yeah.
And this is his first year as your head coach. And you fire him after 43 games because your team doesn't believe he can help with.
I just figured it out. I just seen it right here. I went to their schedule. So they just played the Pistons back to back. And they gave up 135 to the Pistons. And they gave up 113 to the Pistons. That's why he got fired. They said you gave up all them points to the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. You're done, son.
Yeah, but that's not on him. I'm sorry, I'm not putting that on him. That's on the front office who went and traded for Dame and gave away your best defender. That's on them. That's your fault.
And then go get someone else. Like this.
And then they had it wasn't Grayson Allen on this team too.
Yeah.
And he's in Phoenix. And he in Phoenix shining right now. Balling. Hey, that's what happens when you trade away your good players that actually play defense.
Panic mode. So we going from panic mode because I get it's cold up in Milwaukee. So you can't start freaking out. Maybe the heat broken. You can't use a little shivery up there. But it's talking about South Beach though. Go down to South Beach. Welcome to Miami. You already know what Will Smith said. Party all night when the heat is on to the break of dawn. Oh, my man was ready. He was ready. So right after that, I told y'all this news happened first, and then the Bucks, they should have fired the GM after this happened because Terry Rozier got traded to the Heat for sixth man of the year, Kyle Lowry, and a 2027 first round pick. I mean, I know I made you start the first topic off, but this is your team, Dave. I'm going to lean on you for this one because I already know what Terry Rozier can do. but you had some choice words. Go back and watch the intro for both the GM and Kyle Lowry. Take it away, Dave.
Exactly. First, I want to say thank you, Kyle Lowry, for your leadership. You were one of the best leaders that we've had in Miami. So this is not to say that you were not a great leader. And throughout your career, you've been a pretty good player. However, over the last 2 seasons, you were not exactly what we needed as a point guard. So we gracefully say thank you for your services and send you to Charlotte. I'm happy. I'm simply happy that Kyle Lowry is no longer in Miami. He is not necessarily what we needed as the point guard for this team. Although he fits the morale as far as the toughness, playing defense and all that. I get that. But at some point, your production needs to be worth the minutes that you're getting. Kyle Lowry is playing 28 minutes per game. He's only averaging 8.2 points per game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. That is all he's averaging. And he's shooting, and I believe he's shooting a 43% from the field.
28 minutes.
Yeah, he's averaging 28 minutes. And that's whether he's starting or on the bench. He's averaging 28 minutes. And the last time he had a post-game interview, I believe, was he said that he didn't like the idea of him coming off of the bench, and he hoped that it was a one-time thing. Well, Kyle Lowry, you missed the last 18 3-pointers that you've taken. I don't know if you understand how the league is going or how it's been for the last few years since the Warriors won the championship in 2015, but this is a 3-point shooting league, and you have to be able to make your shots. If you're not making your shots, Kyle Lowry, then I'm sorry, you're just not going to be what we need here.
He should know.
Wow. That's funny. I'm sorry. Kyle Lowry to Miami is Harrison Barnes to the game. You might be absolutely right with that. You might be. So that means you might want to hurry up and try to get. You might want to do what I did, Joe. You might want to do what I did and put your GM in a doghouse and have and cuss him out for not. Well, not cuss him out, but bomb him out for not trading away Harrison Barnes. I mean, the trade deadline is close, but it seems like nobody wants Harrison Barnes right now. But
the Kings' fault is they trying to trade for Kyle Kuzma, but they ain't trying to give up them picks. We need them picks.
Better give up them picks. Y'all were the 3rd seed in the West last year, so let's see what happens. But I do want to say that I'm excited about Scary Terry being in Miami. He has always been one of my favorite underrated players in the NBA. We all know that he's a scorer. He was like that when he was with Boston and with the Celtics when Kyrie was there. They called him Scary Terry for a reason. This season, he's averaging 23 points per game, 6.6 assists, and a steal per game. The last time a Miami Heat player averaged that in the season was LeBron James. That's the last time a player averaged that in the season.
Bucks should sign Doc Rivers.
Wow.
Just like that.
That's crazy. Same day the man got fired, he got another thing about that.
It's an inside job, man. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
come on, Joe.
You macking it.
You about to get in the doghouse, man.
Yeah. Wow, Joe. Wow.
I'm gonna say my bad.
back to Scary Terry, man. So over the last 5 seasons, there's been 2 players that have made the most clutch 3-pointers over the last 5 seasons. We know who one is because he's the best 3-point player in the game, the best shooter of all time, Steph Curry, who made 56 on 34.6 3-point% shooting. The other player is Terry Rozier, who also made 56 on 37% shooting. Right now, he's averaging about 3 3-pointers per game, 46% from the field, 36% from the 3, and 85% from the free throw line. he fits what we need. We needed a point guard that can score, create his own shot, and that can play defense. He does that. He does all of that. I heard someone say this early on another show that Kyle Lowry, that Terry Rozier is a younger Kyle Lowry. I don't think that's the case. I think he's much more athletic than he is. I really don't know what his leadership is either when it comes to that. Also, he doesn't flop as much as Kyle Lowry does. So, that's another thing. But I don't think you can compare the two. So that was a terrible comparison. And I have to say who said this.
I knew it.
Shannon Sharp. Come on.
I knew it.
You can't. That's a terrible comparison.
It's for Joe.
You've been really good. You've been really good on most of your comparisons when it comes to like sports, but this is a bad one. You call him a young athletic Kyle Lowry. That's just no. That's bad. But Tomo, you can go.
Younger Kyle. What Kyle Lowry was he watching? But did he mean DeRozan? Because DeRozan was like a mid-range assassin, but Gary Terry can hit the three, as you just stated. And also, the average of points that you just named, think of that, like he had to take over for the Hornets while LaMelo was out. And while LaMelo was out, he picked up the slack. So with those averages, he was averaging 28.5 per game, 46.3 from field goal percentage, and then 90% from free throw, 40% from the three-point line, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all the things that Jimmy Butler would need when it's time to go into the playoffs. Think about this, because this is also one of the things that got you out to the finals. You had two dogs. Then one of them now was in Cleveland. The other one went to the Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those two left, and now you revamp it. You get some dead weight out of there. I mean, we already got Udonis Haslem jersey going up. Paul Pierce, don't fight me. We got the jersey going up, and then
we got the D-Wade statue coming soon.
There we go. And then you got somebody who's just wasting 28 minutes a game. Now, when you was reading off his stats, you said he averaged 28 minutes a game and 8 points. I was like, all right, 8 points is cool. I was waiting for you to get to the assist, because hopefully, say 3 points, say 4, and that's supposed to at least be 9. 8 or 9 in that ballpark. If you're not going to score, you got to at least facilitate the basketball. Like, what are you doing for those 28 minutes? And that press conference was hilarious. He said, I hope it's a one-game thing. Oh, yeah, it's a one-game thing here in Miami, because now we're getting you out of here. You got to go. So now it's going to be an every-game thing when you go up to Charlotte. Hopefully you can hang out with the baby while you're over there on the bench and y'all can talk about some things. You might be in another video.
Facts.
Or you might be a part of another trade. That might be a good topic for the doghouse, maybe like a quick off-camera topic, because nobody really cares where Kyle Lowry goes unless he's a part of a 3-team trade that can facilitate something for someone else. All I'm saying is I'm not going to talk too much trash, because the Wizards are also in the trade market and they're looking for expiring contracts, and Kyle Lowry may be a veteran that they want to bring. And I'm not trying to deal with that right now. We already got 7 games on the year.
Well, luckily for you, I have an idea of where he might land, and it's not Washington. From what I'm hearing, he may be a part of a trade that involves DeJounte Murray being gone from Atlanta. The Hawks are the favorites to land Kyle Lowry.
I feel sorry for you, Ice Tray. I feel sorry for you, man, because now he about to slow the offense down unless he come off the bench. Technically, I don't know what's wrong with the vets and not understanding that coming off the bench is an okay thing. We just seen Russ win a game for the Clippers coming off the bench. Like, it's okay. Mm-hmm. You're still getting paid and you're helping the team win.
Exactly. Embrace the role. Yeah. Sometimes you're just not it anymore. That's just what happens. I'm sorry. It may be a harsh reality, but sometimes you're just not meant to be that person anymore. It's just you're not the Kyle Lowry that was in Toronto. And honestly, were you ever one of the best point guards in the league? I don't think so. I never heard your name as one of the best point guards in the league during that time we was in Toronto. Now, the team was really good, but that's because you had DeMar DeRozan on your team. DeMar DeRozan was the star, and you just happened to be his Robin.
And Funny thing that you said everything about finals and where the league is going with the Golden State Warriors, because he beat that same team. I mean, granted, Kevin Durant got hurt, Klay Thompson got hurt, but he went up against that same team, and you seen what they was doing when they clicking on all cylinders. 3-pointers are the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why they got your boy out of there too, because he kept shooting mid-range jumpers.
Mm-hmm. And remember, the reason why the Toronto was good is because Fred VanVleet stepped up in that final season. It wasn't you, Kyle Lowry. It was Fred VanVleet.
There we go.
That was the Fred VanVleet and the Kawhi Leonard show. That was that
a little bit of Siakam.
A little bit of Siakam. And just a smidge of Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, because he was having a blast when they won. I know. I was like, bro, you was just saying you miss your boy DeRozan, and now you got a ring, and you like, Kyle, come back. I mean, he said, Kawhi, come back. And he went to LA. So the writing's on the wall, man. It happens that way. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. But we want y'all to hit that like button, hit that share button, because when we come back, we got to talk about one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league, Mike Evans, because now he's on the market. You got to see where he's going to go. And then we probably got to talk about one of the, some people will say overrated quarterback. Some people will say he's rated right where he needs to be. But we got to see, how do we feel about it? Is Josh Allen overrated? So when we come back, we're going to have a lot to talk about. FJA, be prepared. Be back in a second. Hold up, what that say?
Kyle Lowry balled out in the closeout game in the finals. Cool. That's cool.
Now he can close it out in Charlotte.
That's good. Yep, there you go. Now he can close out in Charlotte on the bench.
And we'll be right back.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri.
This is Ed Hahn.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah, refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah, refuse.
And we're back. So, as Tomo said, we got to talk about Mike Evans. So, Tomo.
Man, heartbreaking loss, man. You know, they went up to Detroit, and it's just something about the aura of that city. They had the Cartiers on and Bacon. I said bacon. Yeah, he turned into bacon. We ain't even gonna say bacon. He turned right into bacon. Crispy.
Bacon soda. I got bacon soda.
They should have played that when he threw the pick. Oh, man, that would have been great. But, hey, Lions, save that for no, they play y'all. I don't know. I can't get y'all no bulletin board material. I'm a Dallas fan. We gave y'all enough.
We already getting enough now, so it's all good.
Nice. See, talking about Debo. But another one of the receivers, you know, every year they come out, they talk about who's your top 10 and who would you like to have here or who's better than who. You know, these happen in barbershops, you know, they happen at water coolers, they happen at refuse chats all the time. And one person who always goes out on the ledge and just says some wild stuff throughout, Mike Evans. And everyone was like, what you mean, Mike Evans? Maybe it's because he's playing down in Tampa Bay that he doesn't really get to shine, but you're talking about a consecutive 1K wide receiver who is now a free agent. And Tampa Bay has a decision to make, but technically it's more so on Mike Evans. So should Mike Evans re-sign with the Bucs? And I'll start this one off. No. There's too many options out there for Mike Evans at this point. I mean, I can name some of the wide receivers that's about to be free agents. Technically, Can he get franchise tag? Because if so, then he has no choice. But if he doesn't get franchise tag, you thinking about Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, and I'll leave a few other names off of there for now, but you kind of can see what the market's going to look like. And between him, T. Higgins, those are going to be some big names because Calvin Ridley is up and down. But as far as you want a consecutive receiver, Michael Pittman too. I can throw him out there. He had a good season. I think the Colts going to bring him back though.
Yeah.
So out of those two, if I'm Mike Evans, I love what Tampa Bay did for me. I love the run that we went on. You know, he won a ring with Tom Brady. But there's another team down in Texas, you know, that needs a receiver. They make big splashes here and there. You know, they shake up things from time to time. But technically, they just got their young quarterback. And they also have another young receiver in Tank Dell, and they also have Nico Collins. But why not add Mike Evans to that trio? And now you have the Houston Texans looking like the force that they really should have been because they came out of nowhere this year. But Robert Woods is nice. But if you think about Mike Evans, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell with CJ Stroud, and you can go find another running back. I ain't saying Singletary can't come back, but for me, if I'm Mike Evans, I'm looking at Houston like this is the place I need to be. So should Mike Evans sign back with the Bucks? If he likes Tampa Bay, but if you want a quarterback that you know is going to be there for the forgivable future with a culture that's going to be great, because my man came down there and changed all of our minds about the Texans. I say leave and start looking at Houston, man. What you think, Dave?
Tomo, you know what's crazy? That's the first thought that came to my mind.
Hey, dummy bros.
First thought that came to my mind, but I'm gonna go in a different route. Because you said everything that I was thinking when it came to Houston. Because you got D'Amico Ryans is down there, you got Tank Dell, you got Nico Collins, you got Dalton Schultz, you got Devin Singletary, you got everything that you need down there. You got a pretty good offensive line that's helped them out. Yep. A really good defense has helped them out. You might need a couple pieces to help out in defense. You might need to draft another safety or like a D line. You might want to help out with the D line just to be able to force more pressure on pass defense. But I also say no, he shouldn't go back because if you look at it, if I'm Mike Evans, the question is, what do you want? Is it do you want more money? Or do you want to go win a championship? I think Mike Evans has made more than enough money in his career to now be like, I want to go compete and win the championship.
Yeah.
Where can he go to really compete where they need a wide receiver? There's a team that's in the AFC Championship game that definitely needs a number one wide receiver. If you say they don't need a number one, at least he could be a number two. I'm talking about Baltimore. I know most people thought I was going to say Kansas City.
I did too, though. I ain't going.
I know most people is going to think I said Kansas City because it would make sense to go to Kansas City. But if I remember correctly, Kansas City doesn't have a lot of cap.
That is true.
Now, that's not to say the Ravens have a lot of cap either, but I feel like the Ravens will be able to be more flexible to be able to put him in that situation because actually one of their receivers are a free agent this year, and that's Odell Beckham, who was also on that top 10 wide receiver list who's going to be free agents this year. So if I'm Baltimore and I want to continue to help Lamar Jackson's career, give him a certified number one wide receiver and Mike Evans. He has Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, who are two really good tight ends. I think it's without question we can say that Isaiah Likely is a really good young tight end because he has 7 touchdowns in the last 5 games.
Yeah,
he's been doing everything he needs to do to get that. I get your thing on this, but as far as I know from the reports I see, he's not getting traded.
We might want to have that conversation because technically, would you want Mike Evans or would you want Stephon Diggs? The track record for Mike Evans has been solid and consistent.
Exactly. He's been the most consistent receiver since he's been drafted in the league. Remember, he was a first-round pick out of Texas A&M. His quarterback, who we all know, was Johnny Manziel. Where's Johnny Manziel? Not in the league. Where's Mike Evans?
He got his good twin in Baker.
There you go. Mike Evans is in the league, and he is the only receiver other than Jerry Rice who's had multiple, I think 10 plus seasons consecutive of 1,000 yards receiving.
Yep.
And he broke the record this year.
And it's nothing else that he owes Tampa Bay.
It's nothing that he owes Tampa Bay. And even if it's not Baltimore, you can go to Cincinnati because you see T. Higgins is about to be, he's a free agent.
And
you pair him with Jamar Chase. You got Burrow coming back. I mean, Burrow is coming off an injury, but you got Burrow coming back. That would help them out right there too. Now, if you look at, and that's just the AFC, and of course Kansas City, yes, because they don't really have a number one receiver. They have Rasheed Rice, who I believe is going to be nice, and they still got Kelsey, but they still need a number one receiver for real, and that would be Mike Evans will fill that spot immediately. But if you're looking around the league and other places, like if you look in the NFC,
Commanders.
But are they competing for championship right now? I would say no.
They got the money. They could promise them that.
They got the money. I think they have the most money to spend right now. They have $74 million in cap space right now. Yeah. So they got plenty of money to spend around. So I would see that. But if I'm Mike Evans, I'm waiting to see who the quarterback is going to be and what they're going to do with the offensive line, who's the head coach going to be. That's a lot to really think about right now.
True.
Now, if they get everything in place, like they go sign Ben Johnson as their head coach, they draft a quarterback or at least get some offensive line help to help out with Sam Howell if he is the future, then okay, I'll see that because you got Scary Terry over there, you got Jahan Dawson, you can move him to the slot, you can move him to number 3, so that would be fine. But you also want to give them a tight end to help them out with because they don't have a healthy tight end. Logan Thomas is not healthy all the time, so. You gotta do that. But in the NFC, I mean, you could look at, I would say Detroit, but Detroit doesn't. I don't think Detroit really needs help because you got Jameson Williams, you got Amon-Ra. They pretty much and they got Sam Laporta. They pretty much set.
Yeah.
I
thought about Green Bay. They pretty much set.
Yeah, because they got Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. They pretty much set. He would create leadership in there, though.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Now, the Bears, I think that one's the only one that's it may be okay, but you got to look at what they're going to do. Are they going to keep Justin Fields or are they going to trade him away? What's going to happen with that? And who is the offensive coordinator going to be?
Man, you know what? Yeah, because if you Mike Evans, like you said, at this point, I mean, we all want to get some money. Like you got to get your money, man, because he got a ring,
and I
think
he's
not really ring chasing at this point.
And I think another place that he could possibly go to, I believe, is a place that's about to hire Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, and that's the Chargers, because you got Keenan Allen over there, Mike Williams, but Mike Williams is always hurt, so is Keenan Allen. Mike Evans is usually more available than any of them, so you would have at least somebody that's more available.
What about the Raiders?
You pair him with Devontae Adams, who's the quarterback though.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you trusting in Aiden O'Connell? You think he's the future? So that's possible, but
yeah, at this point, if you Mike Evans' agent, you got to look at it like you said, almost 10 consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards. You're looking at it like now it's time for him to get some notoriety. So I kind of want him to go somewhere where he can get his just due because he has, like I said, he has a ring. The money's there. The only way I see him signing back with Tampa Bay is just to be like, you know what? I literally just love it here. Like that's the only way. But other than that, yeah, where I want to go, I need a quarterback that's going to make sure I know I can get my numbers. He like Brandon Cooks outside of this year with the Cowboys. You know he can get his numbers with any quarterback. It's just more so, is he going to get the notoriety and the respect that he deserves?
Yeah. And Mike Evans, he is, and I got to give a shout out to Mark because Mark had brought this up a while ago last year. He was talking when we were comparing Mike Evans to Devontae Adams, and he was saying like who's the better? Who's the better between the two? I still think it's Devontae Adams, but I can see why Mike Evans is in that conversation. I mean, look at what he did this year with Baker Mayfield. He did that with Jameis Winston. He did that with Baker Mayfield, and he did it with Tom Brady. It doesn't matter who his quarterback was; he's been consistent. So,
I hope for his sake, man, he like really sits down and makes the right decision. Baltimore's not bad. I think the fact that we both thought Houston off rip, I think that's it. I forgot where you was from, but if you're from the area, that would be nice. Go back home. Again, you go back somewhere where there's no state tax, so you can still keep your money, just a little bit of it.
What about your Cowboys, though? I'm surprised you didn't think about that.
I'm not gonna do what everybody wants me to do.
I get it, but I'm saying if you really look at the situation, I think you pair him with CeeDee Lamb.
See, that would have to be a sign and trade situation. They would have to get rid of Michael Gallup at that point because he's still on contract.
Yeah, or you could just cut him. Jerry got money; he don't care.
He care. It ain't Jerry. It's Steven that care about the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you saw what he did for Amari Cooper. He could trade him for like a 4th or 5th round pick. He don't care.
Yeah, that was personal reasons. It's personal reasons. Now I don't know, but that would be nice. I mean, at the end of the day, we already know what's gonna happen when free agency comes. His name is already. That's the first team that's gonna get bought up, knowing they ain't got no cap space, knowing they still got to sign back Dak. But if you want your name or you want a team to sign you, you just say you want to go to Dallas, and then boom, you're gonna go wherever you want, but Dallas.
Right.
I mean, we'll see though, man. A great career. So I agree with you on that one. But now I know he's somewhere driving right now. He's not here. My FJA brother, he's at a basketball game. But this is a topic that I know Joe wanted to be here for. If you got to talk about Josh .0. Is Josh Allen overrated? After playing 6 seasons for the Bills, Josh Allen fell short again in the playoffs. But yet, he's still up there with the top 5 quarterbacks. He's definitely going to be in your top 10. There's no flanking it on that one. But, Joe, I wish you was here for this one because we're going to have a lot to say, and Dave's going to have a field day. So I'm going to let Dave start. Do you believe – not even that. I'm going to say, is Josh Allen overrated?
For me, it depends on what people are saying about him. Is he a top 2 quarterback? No, he's not a top 2 quarterback. 2 best quarterbacks in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. That's without question. That's without question. Now, is he top 5? I would still say yes. I would still say yes. He's still a top 5 quarterback. Now, granted, he is a turnover machine. One thing he gonna do is give you the ball. He give you an opportunity to get the ball back, and that's not what you want in your starting quarterback. Now, I will say this though: in the playoffs, he has not turned it over this season. He did not turn the ball over in the playoffs this year. He did fumble the ball in the last game, but
they got
his
it back.
teammate recovered the ball, so it does not count as a turnover. Josh Allen, we know what he can do. He has a strong arm. We know that's one thing they always said about him. He can run. We know that he's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league, and he's one of the more tougher built quarterbacks in the league to where he can take on the crash dummy, what we call the NFL, the collision sport. He can take on those hits most of the time. But if we're saying that he's on the same level as Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or even like an Aaron Rodgers, he did not play this year, but he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You can't give him that. He has not gotten to the Super Bowl just yet. He has not. Josh Allen has not beaten one of the top quarterbacks in the league that played the entire game. Let me say that. Now, when he played against Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, Joe has said this. They were up 17-3 against Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson went out in the third quarter due to injury. So I will give him that one. He did beat Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson started a game even though he didn't finish it. That's a game that counts for Josh Allen. But other than that, he has not beaten Joe Burrow in the playoffs. He has not beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. For some reason, he cannot beat the top quarterbacks in the AFC in the playoffs. He's beaten Mac Jones, though. Blew them out. The other quarterback was it was the quarterback for the Dolphins, who was the backup because Tua was not there. So who has he gone up against in the playoffs to say that he beat a top quarterback? You can't say that about him. He can't be. He's 0-4 in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, 0-5 in the playoff against Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. So he has to be able to get over that hump to put him in that upper echelon of those, those quarterbacks. Those three quarterbacks. I mean, even though Lamar Jackson has not gotten there, Lamar Jackson is about to have his second MVP and his second first team All-Pro. Josh Allen doesn't even have an All-Pro yet. He doesn't have an All-Pro yet. He doesn't have an AFC. He doesn't have an AFC championship. So I don't know what everyone is thinking as far as where he's rated. Now, if you say he's a top 5 quarterback, okay, he's not overrated. But if you call him top 2, yes, he's overrated. You're on mute, Tomo.
That's crazy. But now, if you're talking to Dan Orlowski, he's overrated.
Yes.
If you're talking to Dan Orlowski, Josh Allen is definitely overrated. But I mean, if you're listening to Dan Orlowski and you want to understand what Dan Orlowski is saying, then you would think that Josh Allen is underrated based upon how he's being judged. Mm-hmm. So to me, 7th round pick for the Bills, they drafted up with Tampa. Funny that we were talking about Tampa in the last segment, to get the 12th pick, from the 12th pick to go get Josh Allen. Say, look, we're the Buffalo Bills. We play in the cold. We got a new stadium. We're not going to actually build a dome because we like the elements. We like the fact that the whole city wants to come out and shovel every time it's a playoff game just to know that we're going to lose. But that's just me being a troll. He also got his extension. Everything you said prior to me adding my 2 cents to this topic is true. He has the big arm. He has all the intangibles of a quarterback that you want outside of what's going on up here at times. Like, hey, Josh, you don't have to always aim for the big play. Technically, that's kind of why they lost to Kansas City. He was looking for the big play when the play was underneath to be made to your number one receiver. Normally, when you go for the big play, you looking for your number one receiver. Actually, he overlooked his and just threw it down the field, and it was like, I got bumped, and it was short arm. Cool. Yeah. But the turnovers are a thing. You can lead the league in touchdowns all you want, but if you're turning the ball over at the same rate, how many games are you actually at chance of winning?
You know what's crazy, Tomo? When you just said that, I thought about someone who was in the top of touchdowns and in the top in turnovers.
Who was that?
Jameis Winston.
And look what Jameis said.
Remember what he did when he was at Tampa Bay? He threw for 30 touchdowns and also threw for 30 interceptions.
30 for 30.
So
that's funny because
that's something to think about.
2020 vision. That's funny. And since being in the league since 2018, he has 102 turnovers. 102 turnovers. And you're trying to tell me that this is what you want to call a top 2 quarterback. Now, granted, the one thing that he has over Lamar Jackson is reliability. And some people would debate that. You can if you want to. That's for another day because technically Lamar did miss the last 6 to 7 games of the last 2 seasons, but he's here now. And look what happens when he's here. Josh Allen, I don't think he's actually missed any games due to injuries. So you can give him that. You can give him the big arm. Again, he can make the plays. We jokingly call him a fullback because he's the only quarterback I know that took some of the hits in the last playoff game and got right back up like nothing ever happened. Like,
Man, every time I see it, it amazes me. I'm like, dog, I don't see how he does it.
insanity. Like, I can't even be mad at it. But you also named playoff wins, and that's where we judge most of our quarterbacks anyway, right? This is where I have my infamous debate with Joe about why I say Dak Prescott and Josh Allen are the same too. But what's the first thing everyone's gonna say? Dak never got to an NFC championship game. Okay, one guy got there, but he lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you're and one of my another Joe gonna use this in his notes, but it's cool. I said this about Dak that he can't punch up in his weight class. I can say the same thing about Josh Allen when it comes to the playoffs.
That's facts. He can't punch up. He can punch down, but he can't punch up.
Here are the names. 3 quarters, you got Lamar Jackson. I mean, I don't really like that when Joe says it sometimes because it's like I've seen teams come back in the fourth quarter. Like,
That's true.
We've seen it happen. So, but it's the facts are the facts. 3 quarters of Lamar Jackson. But other than that, he's beaten Phillip Rivers on his farewell tour, Mac Jones, as you said, Skylar Tompkins, and Mason Rudolph. These are the quarterbacks that he went up against in the playoffs. So now he has the worst record against top 5 quarterbacks or starting quarterbacks. He's 1-5 in the playoffs. Dak Prescott is 2-5. Alex Smith is 2-5. Those 2 names. 2 of those quarterbacks, all 3 of those quarterbacks. I mean, outside of the fact that Josh Allen can run and barrel down a linebacker, they kind of sound like the same people.
Yeah, but Alex Smith, the only one of those 3 that actually got to a Super Bowl.
I mean, you're right. I'll give you that one. I knew you were gonna say that. Did he get there twice? Was he on that Kansas City team?
No,
he was traded after that.
He was traded.
Okay. That was Shady who stole the ring. You're right. He did nothing. Must feel good to do nothing and say you're a champion. But for me, is Josh Allen overrated? I say yes, definitely. Because of right there, if everything is judged about your playoff success, when it's time for you to go up against those honchos, you're supposed to make it happen. Now, you lose to Joe Burrow in in Cincinnati, I'll say, okay, you were on the road. Same thing happened when you lose to Mahomes. You were on the road. But the fact that Joe Burrow came to Buffalo in the snow, beat you, moved on.
Beat you badly at that.
Mahomes came to your city again in the snow. It wasn't snow in this game, but it was snow. Beat you again. It came down to a kick, but you got to make the right play. Because technically, if you would have made the right play, you get a first down, you live to see another day. You probably could have scored a touchdown, or you
get a closer field goal
for a kicker who was already having a bad 2 weeks. This is what happens. Yes, Josh Allen is overrated. If you in the comments and you want to say I'm crazy because he threw the same amount of touchdowns that he did as interceptions, you can say that. But if you're a quarterback in this league, you don't want your quarterback to be known for leading the league in turnovers just as much as he did in touchdowns.
Especially not leading the league in turnovers since he's been in the league.
Yep. And one more thing, while I have this airtime, all season I heard, it was a running thing. We're going to run the ball more. We're going to run the ball more to protect our quarterback because he had one bad season of interceptions. Meanwhile, you have the other guy who's known for turnovers. Once the offensive coordinator gets fired, they implemented that same style, and they were in another heavyweight fight with a great quarterback. Technically, that firing of the offensive coordinator got them to the playoffs because it was protecting the football.
Yep. So.
Thanks to, they fired Ken Dorsey, who's their OC, and Joe Brady, who's now the OC, has helped out. And all you see now is more of James Cook running the ball, which is what we said a while ago. We said that if they run the ball more, it will help the quarterback. And now look, his team was able to win a playoff game this year, and they were minutes away from being able to at least get to overtime against the Chiefs, but we see that didn't happen.
Exactly. And one person I know that laughed right after crying a little bit was Singletary because he was like, well, I mean, y'all said it was me. Y'all said it was me.
Mm-hmm. And we saw what Singletary did this year with the Houston Texans.
Exactly. So, hey, Josh, maybe if you go get Zeke or something, that might make this cipher complete. Or honestly, if Josh Allen had wide receiver by committee, I think that'd be better for his career.
If
Josh Allen had Mike Evans and Stephon Diggs, that might help him out too.
Nah, we trying to keep him from throwing the ball, Dave. He gonna go crazy.
But what I'm saying is, you at least got a receiver that's going to get up and go get it.
Gabe will go get it.
Yeah, but Gabe was also hurt. You know, you got to remember Gabe was hurt. But what I'm saying is, I'm trusting Mike Evans more than I trust the other two. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather Mike Evans drop the ball than do what the other two was doing. You right.
Yeah,
you right. Now, with that being said, if y'all don't think Josh Allen is overrated, leave it in the comments. If y'all think he is overrated, leave it in the comments too. We here. We like to go. I go comment searching sometimes. I'll respond.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. We definitely appreciate y'all for being on the show today. Let's get these last words in. I know for me, again, I'm excited that we got Terry Rozier. Now, this is not. Let me make this clear. This is not me saying that now we're going to make it to the finals. You're not going to get that out of me. I'm going to wait until the playoffs get here, where we are, how things go. If we're even if we make another move, I'm not sure what happens right now. But we got off some dead weight, and now we're able to be more flexible with our offense and do more what we need to do defensively as well. So great job, Pat Riley. Again, Kyle Lowry, thank you for your services, thank you for your leadership. But you are now in Charlotte, so go do what you need to do in Charlotte. And I'm almost certain you're not going to be the starting point guard in Charlotte because they got LaMelo Ball. So, San Fran, we got a game coming up. Stay focused. You hear what the media saying about Brock Purdy. You hearing they say that we can't win without Debo. So y'all got to go prove it. So don't go prove it for me. Go prove it for yourselves. We got an opportunity still to go win Super Bowl championship number 6. So go take care of business. And let's go, Duke. We up right now against Louisville. Let's go. Let's close out this game, baby.
Super Bowl number 6, man. I wish my background was different. I could have reacted. Must be nice, man. It must be nice. Look, man, at the end of the day, I want to say this because I wasn't here to say my last words. But hey, everybody in Dallas, put your phones down, please. This is absurd. I'm used to people. It's so bad that moms went to Facebook. Look at the narrative. She was on Facebook and said Dak ain't it. Oh man, then you got brothers, aunties, sisters, cousins all coming out talking some. Look, man, I said the same thing. Like if I like Dallas, but the fans be tripping. I mean, this is true. This is true. I can't sit up here and laugh at the turmoil that's going on in Philadelphia when you look up and don't know if your family member gonna say something on Twitter. And what better family member to come out to say something than Michael Parsons' cousin or brother? I think that was his brother that came out and said something. And he had to come in and say, hey, bro, like, nah, I like Dallas. I don't know what he talking about. How about you just hop on the podcast and clear the air? Just hop on Bleacher Report. You ain't do no exit interview. None of the stars did an exit interview. The first time I ever seen y'all ain't want to say nothing.
Ain't been on the podcast since then either.
I ain't said a word. And look, it's the playoffs. You can make your picks. You got nothing but time. This is the moment. I guess he heard us. One more thing. I got to address this Dallas thing too, because I heard Mike McCarthy said this in his press conference. He said, I wasn't brought here to fix the last 28 years. I'm paraphrasing because I'm botching this, but I know he said something around this where he was like, I wasn't brought here to fix what happened in the last 28 years because I wasn't here, but I'm here to build a championship program. I heard this and said, Mike, what? Everything that happened 25 years before you got here, of course, but you were here the last 3 and it was the same result. So what are you talking about? Sometimes when you have a cue card, just read the card. Like, don't go off script, because the last person that went off script was Decorius, and we see how that turned out.
And it's the reason why the Eagles are not in the playoffs.
Exactly, and this is why the Cowboys are not in the playoffs. Just read the script. That's it. That's all I got for y'all.
Again, we appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Make sure you go look at all the other shows That's a part of the R2L network. Dave's Doghouse returns tomorrow at 7 p.m. I got Ty as my first guest on the show from Indian Red Corner. So
I see what in the red corner doing. They think they should. All right.
I got Ty coming on tomorrow as my guest. Tune into RBO, BWT, CTC, FFC, and King's Talk with Joe. All the shows are great. All the shows are doing well. Other than that, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Oh, it was on me.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.